I know, I don't want to hear it. I already know. Okay? This is the last day before we dip into Saturn in Aries. Thank God. Don't get me wrong. I think I've learned my lessons here with Saturn and Pisces. But I don't know about y'all. I'm ready for Saturn and Pisces to finally move away. Now I know, it's gonna be retrograde in the end of the year. Like, I get it. I understand. I overstand this energy. But just for this energy to be off of my ascendant, y'all, you don't even understand how it is and how I feel. I just wanted to get on this video to talk a little bit about my own personal reflections of Saturn and Pisces. Just some of the things that I have learned. All right, this is just gonna be going off the top of the dome, and I am hoping that y'all all also share your own reflections with Saturn and Pisces and how it has been before it retrogrades back and dips back at the end of this year, and we get this little preview of Saturn and Aries. Okay. So for me personally, for those of y'all that don't know, in Western astrology at least, I am a Pisces rising. And so this transit has been transiting my first house of the self, my view on the world and life. Mind you, not only did I experience Saturn and Pisces with Saturn there, but I also was in knee-deep previously before Saturn and Pisces, my Saturn return in Aquarius. And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna say it was pure hell. I'm not gonna say it was all bad. I'm not gonna say it was just, oh my God, my life, da 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 da. But there were some definite changes, especially when it comes between me and my personal relationships and my own personal boundaries as well during this time. Saturn spared no one in this transit, and there was a lot of limitations I feel like I experienced. Limitations in the sense of like Saturn trying to call things back because maybe things was a little bit out of order during this time. So one of the things I could definitely say I've learned during this time is my own personal self boundaries. All right, if we have the first house, which is self, and it is in opposition or opposing the other side, which is my seventh house, which happens to be Virgo, it is the overdoing, the over giving, the undervaluing. Okay, and I'm not just talking about material things. I'm talking about energetic boundaries with myself and other people. Okay, y'all probably looking at this hat like, crew, what kind of giddy up do you have on right now? Like what's really going on with the fit, right? And honestly and truly, y'all, I don't know. Well, for those of y'all that haven't come to my lives or haven't been a part of my lives, I've been talking a little bit about me finding me pirate ship, and I'll talk about that maybe in another video. Or wanting to find me, I would say, my wooden ship or my wooden boat and things. And my homegirl happened to give me this shirt, and then this is her son's hat, and so I thought it would be pretty cute to now, as we're moving into the Saturn and Aries, to really now fully embody the essence of who I am, which brings me to this. All right, Saturn in the first house also during this time kind of breaks down wherever it is in your chart, but specifically for me, it breaks down the parts of my identity that weren't necessarily truly mine. And I say this with I say this in many ways. I don't fully believe that I wasn't really fully showing up as myself. Like, I do believe the essence of myself was there. But when we move sometimes out or in, and we're moving from a place of people pleasing, right? Because you don't want to stir the pot, and you don't want, people feeling some type of way about this. And maybe sometimes you even allow yourself to like contort, right, yourself into these spaces and places, and you're like, oh no, well, I guess I won't, like, I'm gonna just chill, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna chill, turn up, I'm not sure what I want to do today. That starts to build resentment, and Saturn asks, well, why didn't you speak on those things? Why didn't you say how you felt? Why didn't you recognize your value in these situations, in these scenarios? Are you okay? Is you cool right now? Okay? And Saturn will do the necessary work to bring you into cycles over and over and over again. You'll start to see the same people in vessels, the same type of energy in different vessels. You'll start to see different lessons just physically, not even just within people, being brought up over and over and over again until you understand and overstand the lesson. Okay? It's not here to punish you. Saturn is not here to punish us. I want y'all to really understand. I want y'all to get that out of your head. I know sometimes in Western astrology, we have like this very like cutthroat idealization of the planetary placements. But if you know that the universe is only working for your highest good, would you then start to believe that the planets are actually working for your highest good, even in the moment if it doesn't feel like it is so? All right? So I've even had to let go of trying to hold on to things, people, situations, scenarios that I was literally clinging to. And I know one might look at this and be like, oh, well, that's kind of like Plutonic energy. It is Plutonic, and even Martian, Mars kind of energy to like want to cut, right? And be like, okay, now you have to cut this thing out, and now we're good. Pluto does do that as well, okay? But there's something about Saturnian energy, like I always talk about it as being like the checks, bro. I'm always going to talk about it being like the checks. Like the micromanager, you know what I'm saying? And not even just the micromanager, but the person that's like literally standing behind you to make sure you get everything right. I would even look at it just to be like, I don't know, like a sensei in the field, in the lab. You feel me? That's like, in order for you to understand this technique, all right, if this personal technique, you have to make sure your whole body is focused within it. I know sometimes, for example, I'm getting the example when, like, let's say you have like some type of workout routine. It's very Saturn and Aries. Let's say you have some type, because Saturn is like structure and then Aries is like the physical body. Let's say you have some type of workout routine, and I'm bringing this in as a whole. And because you're just like, okay, well, I have to do the workout. You're just rushing through the workout. You're just like going through the workout. You're doing the motions. You're like, okay, I'm getting through it. But you're starting to be like, well, dang, I'm not really seeing the results. Why am I not seeing results of this workout? Why, like, what's going on? Like, why am I not seeing results? Well, because you're rushing through the workout, boo. You got to take your time. You got to make sure that every piece of your body is engaged in that specific workout. So if you're just plowing through the energy without actually focusing on those different parts of your body, okay, that need that particular exercise, and you focusing in on that, you're not going to see the results of that. And you're going to keep going through the cycles, the loops, over and over and over and over again, okay, until you understand the lesson. And then, and only then, will you start to see the results.